Good, happy Tuesday evening, May 19, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Tuesday evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. We have a lot of news to get to this Tuesday evening, so let's get started. First up, COVID-19 in New Hampshire. What you need to know. Let's take a look at that information. And here is a look at that COVID-19 information for all of you. There are 3,652 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. 1,500,753 number of people in the United States who have tested positive. 172 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 368 number of people who have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And 90,312 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. This map of New Hampshire shows you where current cases of COVID-19 are in towns and cities of New Hampshire. Manchester, 543. And this map here shows you total cases of COVID-19 are in Manchester, New Hampshire. 837. Now let's take a look at this chart here. Let's begin with the new cases each day in New Hampshire. In the purple, new positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, new hospitalizations. And in the red are the deaths. Let's take a look at this chart. Current COVID-19 cases in the purple and current hospitalizations are in the orange. Let's take a look at this chart. Total cases. In the purple, total positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, total hospitalizations. The red, deaths. And the blue, recovered. Now let's take a look at this chart here by age group. Cases by age group. Now let's take a look at this chart here. Cases by female and male. And now let's take a look at this chart here. Risk information. Let's take a look at this chart here. Race/ethnicity of cases. Let's take a look at this chart here. Hospitalizations. Let's take a look at this chart here. Deaths. And this chart here. Percent of New Hampshire population. And again, your common symptoms. Fever, lack of smell, cough, chills, and difficult breathing. How it spreads, and prevention tips. Be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your COVID-19 information. More New Hampshire child care centers open under new guidelines. Children's temperatures checked. Parents not allowed in building. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Ray Brewer.
When you cut lawns for a living, reliability matters. The Kubota commercial lineup with purpose-built mowers like
parents are not allowed in the building.
And that's just one of the changes, as daycare centers around the state are now allowed to care for more than just the children of essential workers. Wonder Years Learning Center shut down on March 19th.
It has been a long 8 weeks. Yesterday we reopened to about 50% of our normal capacity, which we We're glad because new processes, so we wanted to make sure we did it right.
That means checking temperatures upon arrival and having the staff wear masks. The state epidemiologist says these guidelines are more detailed than for some of the other sectors of the economy.
Trying to be very specific in terms of, building in protections, making sure that it's not just, children who have symptom screening, but the staff have symptom screening as well.
As for social distancing, with children from 6 weeks to kindergarten and a few older, Mike LaRosa says that's simply not possible.
We're doing it on the other side. We're doing the hand washing right away. So don't touch your face and wash your hands as much as you can.
More staff has been brought in for cleaning. And another rule, no more than 10 people in a room, which means a reduction in capacity and earnings. LaRosa hoping they'll be back to normal by the beginning of the summer. Another concern that with 8 weeks off, there would be a learning curve for the children. That proved to be unfounded.
Right from snack time to play time to even the curriculum, they really embraced it. And we're super, super proud of them.
LaRosa says when things do get back to normal, they will ditch the face mask, but he can see them incorporating some of the other things like the hand washing and the cleaning into their new protocols. Reporting live in Manchester, Ray Brewer, WMUR News Now.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And now let's take a look at that U.S. stock market and see how your U.S. stock market closed for this Tuesday evening. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the red and went down. Your Nasdaq closed in the red and went down. S&P 500 closed in the red and went down. Gold closed in the green and went up. S&P oil closed in the green and went up. U.S. 10-year closed flat. Euro/USD closed in the red and went down. VAX closed in the green and went up. Dow drops more than 300 points to snap 3-day winning streak. Home Depot and Walmart fell. Stocks fell for the first time in 4 days on Tuesday, giving back some of the strong gains from the previous session aimed sharp losses from retail and bank shares. Trump says he's taking hydroxychloroquine. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
With us here tonight as we begin another week together as America begins the slow and very challenging task of reopening. But it was the president who late today surprised reporters when he said he has been taking hydroxychloroquine for a week and a half. He said he asked a White House doctor who then approved it, and the president added it was preventative, that he has not been exposed to COVID-19. But of course it led to immediate questions about why he's taking it, with the FDA warning that no one should be taking the drug for coronavirus outside a hospital or clinical trial. It comes as this country marks another grim milestone. More than 90,000 American lives lost, and more than 1.5 million confirmed cases now. And as the country slowly reopens, the challenges have been immediate. How do you contain crowds? How do you get some to continue social distancing to prevent any additional outbreaks? A crowded Los Angeles beach, the line outside a popular bar. That's from Cincinnati tonight. In New York City, park police using a banner to encourage social distancing. And in Michigan, workers returning to factories, some saying they should not be going back yet. Others saying it's the risk you have to take to get back to work, to get a paycheck. All of this and then potentially promising news on a vaccine tonight. But first, the headline that immediately took over all the others when late today the president said he's been taking hydroxychloroquine for more than a week now. And so we begin here with ABC's Jonathan Carl tonight.
The announcement came out of the blue. In response to a totally unrelated question, the president announced he has been taking the unproven drug hydroxychloroquine to protect himself from COVID-19.
A lot of good things have come out about the hydroxy. A lot of good things have come out. I happen to be taking it.
Hydroxychloroquine?
I'm taking it. Hydroxychloroquine. Right now, yeah. A couple of weeks ago, I started taking it. Because I think it's good. I've heard a lot of good stories. And if it's not good, I'll tell you right. I'm not going to get hurt by it.
For some 2 months, the president has been promoting hydroxychloroquine, a drug used to treat malaria, among other things, as a treatment for coronavirus. And just last month, the FDA warned against using the drug for COVID-19 outside of hospitals or clinical trials because it could cause heart problems.
Did the White House doctor recommend that you take that? Is that why you're taking it?
Yeah, White House doctor. Didn't recommend. No, I asked him, what do you think? He said, well, if you'd like it. I said, yeah, I'd like it. I'd like to take it. A lot of people are taking it.
The president, who regularly gets tested for coronavirus, said he is taking the drug as a preventative, not because he has tested positive or has any symptoms.
Can you explain, sir, though, what is the evidence that it has a preventative effect?
Here we go. You ready? Here's my evidence. I get a lot of positive calls about it. And I say, hey, you know the expression I've used, John? What do you have to lose? Okay, what do you have to lose?
The president's revelation came hours after he got a surprise of his own from Attorney General William Barr, who threw cold water on his efforts to accuse Barack Obama and Joe Biden of unspecified crimes.
Obamagate. It's been going on for a long time.
But today, the Attorney General announced he does not expect there will be a criminal investigation of either former President Obama or former Vice President Biden.
And as long as I'm Attorney General, the criminal justice system will not be used for partisan political ends. And this is especially true for the upcoming elections in November.
What do you think of Mr. Barr's decision?
And if it was me, I guarantee they'd be going after me. In his case, they're not, so I think it's just a continuation of a double standard. I'm surprised by it.
President Obama has recently broken his silence, criticizing the Trump administration in private.
It has been an absolute chaotic disaster.
And in thinly veiled comments during a pair of commencement addresses over the weekend.
This pandemic has finally torn back the curtain on the idea that so many of the folks in charge know what they're doing. A lot of them aren't even pretending to be in charge.
Yeah.
To President Obama's speeches over the weekend.
Look, I think he was an incompetent president.
That was the reaction to President Obama over the weekend from President Trump today. But let's get right to John Carl at the White House. John, I want to get back to the news late today. The president has been touting, of course, hydroxychloroquine for more than 2 months now. Have you learned anything more tonight about what prompted him to start taking it now?
Well, no direct answer from the White House, David, but if you look at the timeline here, the president says he's been taking this drug for about a week and a half. That means that he began taking it just days or perhaps the day after his personal valet tested positive for coronavirus, and also the vice president's press secretary.
A lot of people going back to check the timeline, John Carl among them, and our thanks to you leading us off tonight, John. This, of course, led to so many questions. What should people at home who are worried about the virus make of all this today? So I want to bring in our chief medical editor, Dr. Jen Ashton, tonight. And Jen, bottom line here, what has the FDA been warning about this drug, and what would you say to your patients who come to your office about taking hydroxychloroquine as a preventative measure, as the president says he's now doing?
Well, David, there are numerous clinical trials on hydroxychloroquine and prevention. They're recruiting patients right now, but according to the FDA, hydroxychloroquine and chloroquine have not been shown to be safe and effective for treating or preventing COVID-19. So in keeping with evidence-based medicine, since there may be some risk, there is no data at this time to support its use for prevention.
All right, Dr. Jen Ashton, who continues to follow this for us as well. Jen.
Hi, everyone. George.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And thank you for joining us for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. They'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night and bye, everyone.